Master Charles brought me and my sister Betsy away from the rest of our family. I was 10 and Betsy was 12. Mama, Papa, Betsy, me, and our little brother Jim were all up for sale after Master Simmons died, but me and Betsy were the first to get bought off. It was Mama's third time being sold, and she knew we'd likely all be parted. Last time we talked, she reminded us about keeping cold, about not letting ourselves think about each other and miss each other so much till the misery took our minds.
When I was maybe 3 or 4, I stole some cherries from the kitchen where William was working. I got found out and lashed. I still got the scars on my calf to prove it. From then on, everyone called me Cherry, but I knew better than to mess with what belonged to Master Charles, and that was everything.
I remember sometimes being sent with Miss Anna to get fabric for our clothing. Unlike the cloth Miss Anna was able to get, I had to get Negro cloth for the slaves' clothing. Negro cloth was made of only cotton and wool in different quantities, made to be durable and cheap at the expense of our comfort. There was only a certain amount of it allowed for each slave too, so whenever I was making our clothes and everything was neat, I did my best to get as much of the fabric as possible. But one of these trips was more than just a trip for me to go get fabric. My youngest daughter Cynthia had just been born, and with that, it put my oldest daughter Helen at risk of being sold away. Because of this fear, I kept her a bit more close to me than I usually would, mostly having her work with me instead of in the kitchen with William. But I couldn't keep my eyes from her when I went to go get fabric one day. And when I came back, there was no sign of her. And I knew they had sold her that day, without even telling me.
Back in the shop, it was sometimes stressful and tiring, especially for a kid like me. I would always come out the shop with coal-covered hands and multiple scars from burns I got from the kiln.
I miss my wife, Josephine, and my little one, Mary. I miss their eyes the most. It would bring me so much joy to see them every day. Now I only have memories.
I was and am an excellent cook. I knew I was valuable because of my skills in the kitchen. I needed no recipes. I had them all in my mind. I was always careful never to write my recipes down where the house family could find them. They owned me, but not my mind. Not just anyone could have my recipes for their own. They were my legacy and all I had got. Couldn't have them knowing I could write too. Abba, my grandmama, taught me to write when I was a young boy. She was one of the lucky ones, learning to write from her mama too. She would have me use charcoal from the fire to write on rocks or old pieces of wood and wash it away before we went to bed. Couldn't have the family finding it. Looking back, I see how dangerous that was for me and Abba, but she believed that it was worth it.
By 1850, word had reached our ears about a gold rush on the other side of the country. Master McDowell came to the decision that I ought to head out to those distant mines and send back the money I was making. It broke my heart to be leaving my family for so long. While I was gone, I wrote back to the family. I was allowed to send some money I was making to Maybelle, which eased my concerns about my family ever so slightly. I hoped that if I sent enough money, someone in my family could someday buy their freedom. The conditions in California were nearly unbearable. The lack of food made me miss William's cooking more than ever, and the harsh work meant that I was beyond spent by the end of the day.
Master Charles died from the scarlet fever that was going around, and sure enough, they started selling off the slaves. I had put back every penny Albert ever sent me from California, but we still couldn't pay for freedom for even one of us. Landy, Jasper, Cherry, and Tilly were all young. They got separated and sold off with the other slaves to pay Master Charles's debts. There were just 5 slaves left after they sold most of us. There was me, William, Jimbo, Dick, and Tempy. The last of us slaves went with Miss Eliza and her husband, Master Nicholas Woodfin, to Asheville. By then, we were hearing rumors about a war between the North and the South. With Albert dead and all my children sold off, I think about them every evening when things get still. Where did Landy and Jasper go? Will I ever see my Cherry and Tilly again? I think about Mama, Papa, Jim, so many others. But it seems like every night I dream about Betsy. Just when I fall off to sleep, I see her eyes, and she watches me till she fades out of sight.